I always want to like do that, right? Like talk about the person who writes it because like what was going through their mind when they decided they wanted to write something and put something on a book. You know what I mean? Is it fictional or is it real? Right? Is it scientifically sound? Right? Or is it made up? You know what I mean? Obviously, there even with something that's made up needs to have like the setting and the background information to make sense, right? Unless it's like science fiction, but even science fiction has to have some sort of principle that matches the universal law. You can't just be like, "Oh, I'm so imaginary," you know what I mean? That nothing makes sense to the regular human brain, right? So why would an audience decide to watch something that's. But then you watch stuff like the Twilight Zone or like Black Mirror, right? And you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense. The sun and the stars to rule the day and the night, right? I mean, the sun and the moon to rule the day and night. And so that he doesn't really have to be the guy to turn off the switch all the time. I mean, for me, I didn't really think that I was going to go with this pretty serious. I was like, dude, it's Sunday. I haven't gone to church in a while. I'm just trying to do Sunday school at the house, right? I kind of wanted to just keep on going with my verses. I started from the first verse, guys. We already, I mean, not great. We're only on verse 19, but that's a whole lot of information right there. What do you call those signs that's in the heavens, right? Your the Capricorn, Cancer, Virgo, right? Astrology. Let them be for signs. So I guess astrology is important in the eyes of God. Okay, back to Sunday school, guys. Genesis chapter 1, verse 14. And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and so on. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He also made stars. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. So day four, um, from 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 to 19 verses, he created the solar system. Oh dang! I, I knew we were gonna get to the flat Earth and round Earth. This is it right here. I'm not a scientist, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to bring this to light. This is the part people have a tough time where you need the scientists and stuff to actually come about. Okay, so we determined the firmament was both the atmosphere and the water, but then he's dividing it now. The firmament. of the heaven. He never really distinguished the heaven from the ocean either. So I had said that the heaven, because he just said the firmament was, heaven, right? In the I think verse, the second day. Um, but he never really divided or never distinguished the heaven, the skies from the ocean. But I think he's doing it here, right? So let there be light in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. So he's giving you like a calendar type of scenario, right? Yeah. So this is it, right? He's creating the solar system. You know what I mean? Like he's literally creating the solar system right here in verse 14. So divide the day from night, right? So I mean, we can't get really technical with this stuff. We can't say, oh, the reason why this thing works like this is because the sun orbits around, you know, or the Earth orbits around the sun, and we're all rotating and blah blah blah. We can't. I don't think we could do that. You know what I mean? Like because it's not clear at this point how all that stuff is intricately developed. Um, but he did says that you divide the heaven, the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, right? So he's giving you distinguishing the day from the night, right? And let them be for signs. So like when we talk about the period of one day, which is from the evening to the evening, or the evening to the morning, right? That wasn't really clear of what that you know the morning was, right? So he gave us the definition of morning without the word of morning without the definition of what morning is, right? And evening. So now, with this kind of like this part is kind of like the definition, right? When you have day and night, um, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. So giving you like you know the whole calendar model for because I think people brush astrology off as like um not something as serious, right? Like, oh, okay, well, you're Capricorn. You know what I mean? Like, what's your personality like, or and whatnot. I never thought I never thought to invoke any of that stuff into my day to day routine, right? Because I don't see that's necessary. But I mean, um, but I guess in the Bible it's important, right? Because he listed it pretty early. You know what I mean? It's like so after day and night, he said, "Let them be for signs," and then he said seasons, and then he said days, and then he said years. I'm not sure if like having something chronological like that or in order like that makes any more significance. I'm just gonna assume for you know for context that at this point we don't know. Okay, verse 15, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. So the firmament of the heaven and give them light upon to give light upon the earth. So okay, so if earth he called, you know, the firmament heaven, right? So if we talking about atmospheres and there's layers of the atmospheres, right? So when you get further into like the heavens or space, right? Is that also firmament, right? So, so in the heavens, when it's giving light to the earth, right? So then it's got to be the distance, right? So there's a distance. So there's a concept of distance right now. Um, that it gives light upon the earth, and it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. So you can say this is the sun, and then the lesser light is the moon, right? The greater light is the sun to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night, which is the moon. And he also made the stars, but he called it two great lights. I mean, he only called it great because it's for us, right? If it was for anything else, he wouldn't call it great. And because he called light great, right? You got to use the applied relationship of association, right? Let's say we're God's children, and we're gonna see that in later on, where maybe God called us His children, right? Then we would assume that we're great in His eyes. You know what I mean? As well, because I mean, what parent doesn't see their children as potentially becoming great, or you know what I mean, loving them so much that they are great, right? So we could assume that he created two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also, right? And mind you, when he talk about lights versus dark, he's gonna say that it was good. You know what I mean? And he did say that was good on verse 18, and God saw that it was good, right? So the central theme, right? When we talk about, you know, when they bring up Jesus being the light of the world, right? Then it was good. I'm just giving you a preface to later on, verse 17. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. So he had a reason, right? So this is the reason. So uh, the reason why he did it is because he needed to give light upon the earth, right? So like, okay, at this point he hadn't created man yet, right? So you know he's planning everything. It remember it's a pseudo situation, right? It's a canvas. So he's building it. He's building the architecture of a home for who? For what, right? And then you know he already kind of created life, right? Plant life. So you know what I mean. Um, but if you think about it, plant don't really grow without light. So well, the order of operations is insane, right? So think about it, right? It's like he tested out the theory of putting a plant on. Wait, did he already give light already? Let me see. Verse. or day two. Oh, he said, "Let there be light," and there was light, and God saw the light, and it was good. That's verse 3 and 4. Light from darkness. Oh, he did that already. Oh, he did that. So he already distinguished day and night already on the first day, but he did it in a pseudo type of manner. When you plan something, you have to give it the order, right? Like you can't say, "Oh, this is just gonna happen." There's a reason why it happens, right? So he gave you the word, but he didn't give you the meaning or the definition or the infrastructure for it, right? So this part right here, he's creating the infrastructure for it, right? He said, "Let there be lights. Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night." Right. So what is lights? Right. This verse 14. Now, if he were to just say, "Let there be lights," on verse 14, and he didn't say that in the in verse or in the second day or whatnot, or on the first day, was the first day? Yeah, on the first day, then he really doesn't make it clear what light was. He already gave us the word light already, right? So now he needs to give an order to how light works, right? So, I mean, this is very thorough, you know what I mean? Not because I'm saying it, because it's in the word. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. So, right, you know what I mean? So we talk about distance, right? So, he made sure that the sun and the moon is giving this light. So it has to project light upon us. All right, let me ask you a question, right? Do you think as people we can exist without light? You know what I mean? Can we just be in the dark all day? We already know that, without vitamin D, we'll just get sick and die, right? So we do need vitamin D at the very least. Yes, so without light, we're not gonna have a long life, or long enough to substantiate any meaning within our life, right? The sun and the stars to rule the day and the night, right? I mean, the sun and the moon to rule the day and night, and so that he doesn't really have to be the guy to turn off the switch all the time. I don't know. So they it kind of automates, the days, right? And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. So now this is like, like I said, right? So the definition of evening and morning kind of has a purpose now. You know what I mean? Um, he gave you like a period of time, but I mean, obviously, he didn't. Well, he did call it day, but like he doesn't really distinguish, or he did really didn't link, you know, the rising of the sun, or or the sun setting to be the day and the night, or anything like that. So I mean, if you were to think about like when they were writing this, right? So okay, let's say you're kind of like skeptical of the whole thing. Obviously, someone wrote this book, right? And I believe, um, who wrote the book of Genesis? Was it is it Moses? No, it can't be Moses. Oh, traditionally, the book of Genesis is attributed to Moses. Oh man, dude, I know my stuff, guys. I was like, what the heck? Many Jews and Christians have historically attributed Genesis and other four books of Pentateuch to Moses, based on testimonials in both the Old Testament and the New Testament. I mean, the Egyptians, I would presume, is probably one of the older civilizations, right? So if you think about it, yeah, I'm not gonna go to speculate anymore because I feel like I'm gonna get stuff wrong. I was lucky with Moses. Okay, so yeah, so let's say Moses wrote the book, right? And Moses fell upon free my people time, right? Which is he was running away from Pharaoh, in uh during the Old Testament time, right? And they were enslaved um, to build like the pyramids and stuff, right? That just means that if Moses was able to write all the things he wrote about the beginning histories of like the beginning, there was God, right? And he said, "Let there be light," right? So um, that just means that either Moses, like they said, was prepared, what I mean, by other means or other resources or other mentors, right? To 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 write or establish the book, the book, the Old Testament as a collection of books of prophets, or it just means that Moses had been shown, right? Because he went to the Mount, I think it's Sinai or something like that, right? Or whatever it was, Mount something, and then he was given a vision, right? And then he was shown the process of what came to pass. You know what I mean? And so then he was able to compile whatever needed to compile to give us the Torah or the Old Testament. Um, See, but like, and this is why people become so like undeniable when it comes to faith and religion, right? Just within that simple, we're on verse 19 now, right? 20 verses, right? You have the intricacies of what it means to be living. You know what I mean? Like as a person, or even as a plant, or even as a just just an insect, right? There's a purpose. There's a purpose to every element of it all.